up, everyone? Kawaii Crew here to react to episode 7 of Grisaia Phantom Trigger. Last episode we left off, it was the start of the adaptation of Volume 6, and it was pretty much all about Haruto's past. We first saw Haruto, Ichiru, Nogami, Ayame, Ukawa, and Yuki. They were all they were all visiting Aoi's grave, and Aoi, who was also introduced in the last episode, was, of course, Haruto's master. And we also got to see how Haruto came to be. He was a biological creation, a genetically engineered human created by Ichiru, and he was really supposed to serve as the core for the 3rd gen Thanato system. And we got to saw his life as a baby, how Aoi and the others at Mihama Phantom Trigger, they weren't exactly the best parents or the best family environment, but Haruto still managed to turn out to be a decent kid. As we saw Haruto, grow up under the tutelage of Aoi, and we also saw him on his first mission. In fact, I believe that's where the last episode left off, was, Haruto, during his first mission, he butchered fools. He butchered a bunch of terrorists, much to Nogami's shock. So, other than that, without further ado, let's just get on to it. Alright, everyone, here we go. Episode 7 of Grisaia Phantom Trigger. Oh, man. Please don't fuck this volume up. Oh, a picture of him and his wife. Oh, okay, we're starting off with this. I don't think we're gonna get an OP. Alright, Alright, we're not gonna get an OP, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. I was hoping I'll wait until the OP, but I don't think we're gonna get one, so I'm just gonna say this right now. If they fuck up the emotional impact of Volume 6 with this episode, like if Volume 6 is gonna be finished in this episode, if they fuck up the emotional impact, I'm gonna be none too happy, to say the least. I would actually consider dropping this. Nah, I probably wouldn't. But I would probably hate watch it though if they fuck up the emotional impact. Oh my. Okay, we're getting a little bit of the justice talk that was very prominent in Volume 6. Oh, the ramen shop flashback. Oh, they're showing a picture of his wife again.
言って難しい。そのことに変わりはない。けれどエニスさんの言いたいことは分かったような気がした。
Careful when it comes to that cigarette, girl. This is a fire hazard. You're in a forest after all. Yes. Where in the world is Urishihara Nishi? Oh, again the training scene between Haruto and Nishi. Oh shit! Are we gonna get that scene afterwards? Come on, B-Bird. Show me that you are once again base when it comes to the fan service. Damn it! Damn it, no! Nathan Black. Oh, wait, that's Nathan Black? Oh, man. This... I'm upset. I thought... Man, this is like... This is like the third or fourth time that B-Bury has missed out on... Okay, I know I should be... I know I should be saying this for after the live reaction. I'm just gonna say right now. This is like the third or fourth time they weren't based with the fan service.
ここは昔解体されたカルト団体の施設で一時サーズの訓練施設になっていたの。
はあ。
なんだこの連中は。サーズの記録を調べてみたら、教団解散後あれだけいた信者たちが処分不明のまま密室に消えてたわ。まさかサーズ上層部の誰かが虚偽の引き換えに信者をお前にした。しっくりくるでしょ。
何者かと。
そこまでは知らない。でもネイサン・ブラックがいるのは確実よ。
漆原たちは
残念ながら確認できていないわ。
本当にここにいるの？
可能性は一番高いとしか言えないわね。
で、どうすんだ？君はどう思う？正直嫌な予感しかしねえし、知らん顔するのが正解なんだってのは分かってるけどな。俺のマスターはお前だ。お前が行くというのなら、たとえ間違っていてもついていくのが俺の仕事だ。
Damn right.
そして大抵の場合、お前は間違いない。葵、刀貸して。あ？なんでだ？今回の作戦はヤバいのはわかるだろ。さすがに丸腰じゃ厳しいって。終わったら返すからさ。わかったよ。ほら、持ってけ。ありがとう。
大丈夫なのか。
もう問題ねえだろ。
しかし
You know, one detail I do like is how they didn't skip out on Kid Haruto's muscles. I mean, I know it was like that in the visual novel as well, but I do like that detail because, like, too often, like in anime and like, you know, anime inspired stuff, like you see like these characters that they're supposed to be like muscular, they're supposed to be like warriors, supposed to be badasses, but they're not. They don't have a lot of muscle. They're built like a twig, kind of.
いちいち見張ってなっちゃって、心さえ離さなきゃ大丈夫さ。あるかしにそういう年だ。あ、こいつは預かっておくぞ。なんでだよ。さすがに今回は現場で一服されたら困るんでね。終わったら返してやる。分かったよ。
潜入は完了。周りに特に理解したし、あとなんで俺のことジュニアって呼ぶの？
That is not the only reason. Yep, you've alerted the horde.
ダメよ。まだエニスさんがいるって確証がないんだから。待てと言っている。今衛星画像の確認を。グズグズしてりゃ勇気がやられちまうぞ。一つの問題に引っかかれば、それが解消するまで全てが止まってしまう。何が言いたい？時には人間らしく問題の一つや二つ抱えたまま前に進んではどうかね。おい、今の銃声は何だ？責任なら私が取る。どうせ人に嫌われるのには慣れているからね。勝手な真似を。あいつらこっちに銃を向けてきやがった。間違いなく敵だ。分かった。もう好きにやれ。
Let the dog loose. Not too late. You already said you'll take responsibility. Damn right she did.
こうなったらあの子の視界に入ったやつは全員死ぬ。
ねえ、俺も動いていい？
ちょっと待て。映像がタナトスから送られてきた。昨日21時に漆原とブラックらしき人影が敷地内のポイントデルタの地下入り口に入り、1時間後一人出てきている。
それってエニス
Point Delta.
それを
When did she start dual wielding AKs? This looks like some fucking Aztec temple. What is going on? Wow, it's like a fucking cave dungeon. What the hell? That's a... okay. What the fuck? Ooh, yep, that wasn't Inishi under the rag. Why is he in bondage here?
私は漆原恵美氏を守れと命令された。先生が誰を振りにし、
She's not loyal to Sirs. She's loyal to him. I cast high doubt that Aoi is accurate enough to shoot a gun out of someone's hand. Still badass nonetheless, though. Oh, the chase. They clearly displayed that it's an Audi A4. Is this product placement? There's no way they were sponsored by Audi. Here we go, guys. Aoi versus Croy.
なもんなくたっててめえをやるのは簡単さ。
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, it's still got her. What, tore a whole thumb off. Oh! She broke the glasses.
鮫島よ、俺たちはフォローのレースでそれなりに仲良くやってなかったっけ。
マスターの不利益となるやつは生かしておけない。
面白いだろ。
私は100人の中で一人尊敬できる人物を選んだ。
You know, I've seen the Reddit discussion thread for the last episode, and there were multiple people who considered Aoi to be like their favorite character, like in the whole series. So, oh man, I can only imagine what those people are feeling now, seeing her die, and seeing who killed her.
変態だ、急げ。了解。ハルト、行くよ。オッケー。あ、そう、早く。分かってるって。
Oh, broke just like that, huh? Wow, the frame rate was unusually smooth. She took it directly from her mouth? Yeah, it's because who cares about hepatitis when you're smoking a cigarette?
俺が到着した時にはもう葵の死体は片付けられていて、残されていたのは転倒したバイクと全弾撃ち尽くした拳銃だけだった。新しい刀は泉さんが撃ってくれた。その刀で現場に復帰はしたけれど、葵の死を理解することはできなかった。きっかけはほんの些細なことだった。
何ヘタすらしてんだよ。
俺はようやく言うことができた。その後、美浜のファントムトリガーとしての秘匿活動は停止され、みんなは新組織ソードの一員としてそれぞれの道を歩み始めた。
Subtitles misspelled it.
けど俺は
It's not.
葵が死んでから
It's SORD.
じゃあ俺先に行ってエアコンかけてくるね。
私もすぐ行くわ。いいよ。それよりあやめさんをよろしく。ほら。
それで行方はつかめたのか。やっぱり TFA のテキサス本部ね。
SARS による強制捜査も近く実行される予定。おそらく数ヶ月以内には。
そうか、ここまで長かったな。
この時のために我々はあらゆるものを犠牲にしてきた。そろそろ上の連中にも本気になってもらわねば。
Still looking for Nishi.
本当のことを話すつもり。
いずれ折を見て話すつもりなんだが。
ありがとう。いただきます。相変わらずすごい味だね。
それでいいとおっしゃったのが先生です。
そう、これでいい。これは私が私に与えた罰のようなものだ。
スファン。
これからが本当の始まりだ。
And so it does. Alright. Man, there's 2 minutes of it. Is the rest just gonna be ED and preview? Oh. I gotta admit, I haven't been paying attention to the EDs. I don't think this was the last episode of ED, was it? If the episode itself didn't hit you hard with Aoi's death, I mean, the ED visuals probably would. Oh. Okay, really is just preview. Okay. So I think this is volume 7 stuff. I'm pretty sure. Wait. This is volume 5.5. Oh my god. Wait. Oh, so they're not skipping volume 5.5. So, wait. Oh. So they're not skipping. Okay. Damn, I thought this whole time they were just gonna completely skip over. Okay, no. Oh man, I might need to go. You know, even though volume 5.5 is kind of filler, I might have to go back and revisit it through my playthroughs. Man, it threw me off guard when they decided to adopt volume 6 first, and then because I thought they were gonna completely skip over volume 5.5, but no. Or maybe they actually are blending 5.5 with like the first few events of volume 7. Fuck. But I'll talk about that later. But yeah, overall, yeah, this is another, I mean, I still think it is probably better than the adaptation of of volume 5. Now, in terms of like emotional impact, I will say, I mean, I kind of want to get into this later. I mean, when I actually get to it, when I actually, you know, get to it, when I talk about my thoughts compared to the source material. But to summarize, I will say, in terms of emotional impact, they did a pretty good job. So, but yeah, overall, I must say, this episode and the adaptation of Volume 6 as a whole, it's more or less what I expected. you know, I pretty much predicted down to a T which parts of the visual novel they're going to adapt in which episode and all that. I mean, like, you know, all the other adaptations of the source material, they did skip out on some stuff. I'm still disappointed in a couple of things that they skipped. But other than that, I still think it's a better adaptation compared to how they adapted Volume 5. Although, to be fair, I think at least some of that has to do with the fact that Volume 6, I think, is shorter than Volume 5. So it's a lot more jarring when they skip out stuff when they were adapting Volume 5. But yeah, other than that, let's go back to the episode and let's go over what they did and didn't get right. What they skip and didn't skip. How does it compare to the source material? Okay, first of all, they didn't pick up right after, like, the whole mission where Miyama Phantom Triggers was killing all the terrorists. The episode starts off with how Kuroe and Enishi met. Which I believe in the visual novel, it came much later. This came like much later. Like, I think it was like after. I think it might have been after Enishi was arrested. Somewhere around that time. Okay, this scene. This was a very interesting. This is a very interesting way of adapting this scene. So this is apparently the mission Aoi and Haruto went on before they went to the ramen shop. This is an anime original. We didn't really see this in the visual novel. Okay, this scene when she was pointing the gun to her own head and pulling the trigger, that was definitely not in the visual novel. It's not a bad change though. I do like it because it really does emphasize Aoi's desire to, you know, eventually be killed by someone, you know, stronger than her. This ramen shop scene is a nice touch. Because this ramen shop scene, it was only, I think it was kind of like, it was pretty brief in the visual novel. And I like the fact that later on in the episode, it cuts right back to that exact same scene with Aoi patting Haruto on the back. That is a really nice touch. I like that. I mean, I don't want to say it's. I'm not sure if I should say. I don't want to say this anime actually does something better than the visual novel, but it is a really nice touch, I must say. Okay, let's talk about justice and all. Okay. So this is so that's another shot where it shows Anishi's picture with his wife. That is also another anime original touch, because I don't think the visual novels ever actually showed a glimpse of his wife. It was mentioned for sure. His wife was mentioned for sure. But I don't think we ever actually got to see any of her, like, her physical features or like a picture of her or anything like that. I could be wrong though. It is a nice touch though. Because it does signify, you know, how much, you know, what happened to his wife, how much it influenced his current actions. Or at least supposedly influenced his current actions. Yeah, them drinking and then them drinking after they pay respect to Aoi. Ichiru smoking, that's pretty faithful. The training regimen between Inishi and Haruto, that was pretty faithful. Okay, the shower scene. Okay, so the reason why I said they skipped out on the fan service is because in the visual novel, during that shower scene, Haruto commented that he ran out of shampoo. No. Inishi commented that he ran out of shampoo. So he asked Haruto if he can borrow his shampoo, but Haruto also ran out as well. And then suddenly, Kuroe joins them in the bathroom, joins them in the shower room, naked, and hands both of them her shampoo. And we actually got to see, you know, although it was censored, but yeah, we got to see Kuroe naked. And, I mean, you guys seen the figure on Kuroe, right? Who wouldn't want to see her naked? So yeah, like I said, I'm disappointed that I'm considering what they gave us with the bat scene when they adapted Volume 5. Like, I was really hoping they would adapt that scene as well, but they didn't. Okay, this scene where Inishi gets arrested. Okay, so what's surprising about this scene is that, to be honest, I didn't expect Nathan Black to be actually black. Because in the visual novel, Inishi was approached by two guys who weren't black. They had like short, they had short, like dark brown hair. One of them had a goatee, but they clearly weren't black. Their skin was clearly, you know, on the paler, whiter side. So, see, I thought Nathan Black was going to be like either white or Asian. Also, they weren't wearing, in the visual novel, all of them weren't wearing black suits. I mean, one of them was wearing a green suit and the other was wearing some other different color type of suit. And that's who I thought Nathan Black was going to be. I thought Nathan Black, because in the visual novel, I'm pretty sure Nathan Black was supposed to be that guy in the green suit with the short, dark brown hair. But yeah, but no, in the anime, he's actually a black guy. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, though. I mean, he's a guy that fucking dies and later on. He's a nobody. It's not a big deal to me, but it's something I found interesting. And unsurprisingly, they cut out the part where Aoi introduces Yuji's CD collection to Haruto. So yeah, in the visual novel, there was a scene where you know, Aoi was mentoring Haruto and all that. He's unsure of where, you know, of what he wants to do with his life and all that. What he wants to do during his time in Sword. And Aoi, at some point in that conversation, suggested that he watch some DVDs. And those DVDs were like instructional videos with Yuji. Yes, Yuji Kazami. The GOAT. The Yuji Kazami. Yeah, he is an instructor in those videos. It was like the Yuji Kazami style DVDs or something like that. That would have been a nice little, Easter egg for those who watch the original Grisaia series. But then again, I think them omitting that scene, I think it just further confirms my theory that that B-Boy wants Phantom Trigger to be as far removed from the original trilogy as possible. Also, I kind of figured they weren't going to adapt that scene anyways. Yeah, this scene where they listen into the conversation. This was. They did come out. They did cut out a chunk of the conversation, but other than that, it's pretty accurate to the source material. One thing, man, I probably should have commented on this a lot earlier, but in the anime, Aoi is wearing like a black tracksuit this whole time, but in the visual novel, she wears the Mihama uniform, bulletproof uniform. This is another interesting choice that the anime made with Aoi. Why the black tracksuit? Is it simply because she's a biker and that made more sense to them? Or maybe they wanted to preserve her tomboyish personality. They really want to make her a full-fledged tomboy, and it wouldn't be right. And they probably figure it wouldn't be right to have her wear the Mihama uniform. If that was the case, then I understand. Oh wait, no, she did wear the black tracks in the visual novel, but not during these scenes. Okay, yeah, this star-shaped like facility. This is definitely anime original. Don't remember this. Yeah, I don't remember them. Any mention of like a star-shaped facility. Showing the cultists wearing these white suits. That's also an anime original. Because we never actually saw any of them in the visual novel. They were basically just voices, formless figures. I do understand why they decided to make them look like this, though. Since they are kind of supposed to be a cult. And those look like cultist attire. And you hardly ever screw up. Oh, man. Yep. Okay, this scene. Okay, so the scene where Ukawa explains the reason why he calls Haruto Jr. So in the anime it says because you're starting to resemble Aoi more and you've lost your innocence. That is only one of the reasons. there are two reasons why Okawa calls him Junior. This reason and another reason is because since they are infiltrating a group affiliated with SIRS, it wouldn't be wise for them to like use their real names when they're talking over the comms, because what if someone with SIRS is listening in on their comms? What if their comms are intercepted and they find then they're gonna find out who exactly is infiltrating their facility, their group. So that's why Okawa called him Junior in this moment. Also, they skipped over the part where Haruto knocks out a guard. So yeah, in the visual novel, Haruto was doing his job, trying to infiltrate and all that. And he accidentally comes across a guard, and the guard, like a guard would do, points his gun at Haruto, asks him who he is, what he's doing here and all that. And Haruto, this puts Haruto in a bind because he, obviously he didn't expect to get spotted, but also he doesn't want to kill the guard, because he hasn't really been given orders to do so. This was before they got into that huge firefight. This is before Yuki got discovered herself. So, what Haruto decided is that he used all the strength he had to basically just knock the guard out. Just sock him right in the jaw. And that pretty much put him out of commission successfully. And what led up to that was a pretty funny scene, where Haruto was like, "No, you're the one. No, what are you doing here? I'm supposed to be the one guarding B-17." And the guard was like, "Oh, really? Let me check. Let me check with HQ real quick. See if this is correct." So yeah, it was a pretty funny scene. Yeah, Yuki get into the firefight. Yeah. Also, the anime really cut out a lot of Ichiru's annoyance and anger, from the source material. Because I think I remember her being like pretty panicked and peeved when Yuki got caught. This banter between siblings, this was pretty good. Yep. Aoi running through the gate. Lovely. Yep. Pretty accurate. Okay, they mentioned Point Delta in this episode. In the visual novel, it was actually called Cabin H. So, and in that visual novel, that led to some pretty some pretty funny banter between the group, because when Haruto heard Cabin H, he thought it was a person, because he thought Ichiru said Corbin H. He was like, Corbin H, who's that? And she was like, no, Cabin H. And she's trying to think of like what the NATO alphabet was for H, like what the NATO version of H was, which is hotel. And she's like, Cabin Hotel, go to Cabin Hotel, go to Cabin Hotel. And Yuki, upon hearing that, was like, Cabin Hotel, that sounds cozy. And then that's when Ichiru once again gets frustrated and was like, is there anybody in this team with a lick of sense? So yeah, I'm not really sure why they changed it to Point Delta. Because even if they were to stick with Cabin H, and even if they were to cut out the hilarious banter, I still think that wouldn't really change much. Also, okay, then them getting pinned, okay. Again, Aoi dual wielding the AKs was not, I'm pretty sure was not in the visual novel. Okay. This whole scene taking place in what looks like some dungeon, some room in a cave. Yeah, this is another interesting change because in the visual novel, it took the scene took place in like a facility, like in like a small room. So I guess that's why they changed it from cabin H to point Delta. But the thing is that why not just make it a room? Because in the visual novel, just to Ichiru discovers Nathan Black's body. You couldn't really see it all that well in the visual novel, but you could tell what happened. In the visual novel, Nathan Black's body was discovered sitting on a chair in the middle of a room. And there was nothing in that room except like a chair with Nathan Black's body sitting on it. I feel like that would have been much simpler to like draw out and animate than this fucking cave system. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's a very interesting choice. Them deciding to go with this like cave. Not really sure why exactly they wanted to go with a cave. Okay, and here we see, okay, yeah. So my eyes were not deceiving me. The bullet squished into her bulletproof uniform, but she was still bleeding from getting shot? Unless that's supposed to be Nathan Black's blood. Yeah. Again, I was surprised that Nathan Black was wrapped up in bondage gear because that was also not in the visual novel. That's anime original. Why bondage gear? Why couldn't you just why couldn't he use rope and like chains like normal captors? Also, it looked like Nathan Black's body was like on an altar, a sacrificial altar or something. Also, this OST is also... The OST during this scene is much different from the visual novel. Because in the visual novel, the OST was called The Murder. And it sounded like much more like tragic and sinister. But this OST... It sounds a bit like heroic. Like, Initia is this sanctified hero rising up to evil. It's a rather interesting choice for an OST for this scene. But yeah, other than that, this scene, yep, pretty faithful so far. Yep. Aoi swinging down from a rope, once again, anime original. Also, in that scene, Kuroi was supposed to be firing back. See, this is why Ichiru felt so much guilt when it came to Aoi's death. That's why she felt the need to punish herself by smoking. Because she literally just told Aoi to go after them, to not let them get away. But what if she hadn't told her that? What if she hadn't told Aoi to not go? What if she didn't tell Aoi to go after them? What if she just kept Aoi on a leash? No wonder she felt responsible for her death. Yep, the car collision scene, yep. That scene was done pretty well. Although they did forget to mention that the car is actually supposed to be bulletproof. So that's why I couldn't exactly stop them right away. And one could say, oh, why don't she just shoot the tires? But that wasn't exactly... I think it was explained that wouldn't really stop them either. And also in the visual novel, Aoi took a lot more damage from that collision. She was like covered in fucking bruises and shit. In the anime, she looks pretty pristine. I guess one's supposed to assume that the tracksuit is covering up all the bruises that she suffered. The gunfight scene was done pretty damn well. Okay, this scene. Okay, I like this scene better in the anime than in the visual novel. Because in the visual novel, both parties ran out of ammo. And, like in the anime, they had to resort to, melee. Hand-to-hand combat. CQC. But, however, in the visual novel, Ao was caught off guard because she expected herself to like draw her sword and cut down Kuroi, but she realized, in that moment that she realized that she gave her sword to Haruto, and she was caught off guard by that moment, that realization, and she was like, well, this is just not my lucky day, and that's when she got stabbed by Kuroi. But in this scene, it's a lot more epic. Yeah, look at the way she's fucking like came out swinging with that knife. Look, and oh my god, the way Aoi was pulling up her fists. Oh man. Bravo. Bravo. Bravo, Beebury, for taking this liberty. Yep, rip off her thumb. Oh! Oh my god, that is another thing I love about this scene. This is another thing that was done a lot better in the anime adaptation. The eye gouging is much more brutal here than it was in the visual novel. Because in the visual novel, first of all, Kuroi's glasses weren't even smashed. I think she left it in the car before she went and fought Aoi. But yeah, secondly, in the visual novel, I don't think they exactly showed. I mean, well, they did show her thumb going into Kuroi's eye, but it wasn't as brutal as it was here. Like, you see the thumb on, where Kuroi's eye should be. There's blood come out of it, so it's clear that she gouged out her eye, but she wasn't like crying out in pain, and it wasn't like jammed in there like it was in the anime. So I think that's really fucking well done. I mean, that's how it should be. Gouging someone's eye out is supposed to be brutal. Okay, that smile with her gouged out eye. As much as I am not a fan of Kuroi, I will say, this is a very nice touch. Very badass. What's a little disappointing about this scene is that while the sword breaking is accurate to the visual novel, they skipped out on the scene before that with Haruto cutting a bullet in half to save Yuki. Because what had happened was, like in the episode, how Haruto and Yuki were under fire. And what had happened was Yuki failed to confirm that one of the guys that she shot was dead. And it wasn't exactly too clear on what happened, but one of the guys, he kind of woke up. I think he shot at Yuki, but Haruto managed to get her down and deflect and cut the bullet in half. Before Yuki finished off the guy that shot. That was a really cool scene. I mean, Haruto I do fucking cut a bullet in half. There will never be an instance where cutting a bullet in half with a katana is not cool. Okay, this is... So this is probably the most disappointing aspect about Aoi's death scene, because in the visual novel, Ichiro was desperately trying to save Aoi's life. She had like a blood bag hooked up to her arm. She was trying to put pressure on the wound. And Aoi was lying on her own blood. The life from her eyes visibly fading. And you could hear it in Ichiro's voice. Just hang in there, Aoi. You're not going to die on me. But Ayami was at the scene too. And he was like, no, sis, don't you see? She's already gone. But yeah, try as she might, despite Ichiro's best efforts, Aoi did eventually succumb, and that's what led to the scene with Aoi wanting the cigarette again. I really wish they could have included that. It would have made the scene a lot more emotional. I will say though, that admittance is still not as bad as admitting the emotional impact from Volume 5. Also, Ichiru taking out the blood from Aoi's mouth. Taking out the cigarette from Aoi's mouth. Directly from Aoi's mouth and smoking it. That's anime original. Because they didn't really show that in the visual novel. In the visual novel, I think it was just implied that she just took out a new cigarette from the pack and smoked it. I don't think I didn't know that she took it directly from Aoi's mouth. So yeah, I guess that's I guess indirect Yuri for for some of the Yuri lovers out there. Okay, so the scene where when Haruto mentioned that Izumi made a new sword. So what they didn't include in the anime was that Izumi actually got very emotional when it came to making that sword. Because her master made Aoi's sword. And she really didn't want to believe. She couldn't accept the fact that a sword that her master made was destroyed before its owner, died. So what had happened was she went through making multiple swords, and as a test, she would shoot the sword to see, what it would take for it to break. Some of the trial swords, they broke within one shot. And apparently from when she did find a blade that didn't break in one shot, she would still continue shooting it, just to see how much punishment it could took, just to see where its weak spots were. And sometimes she would even create a weak spot for the sword, so that way that the rest of the blade won't break. So she thoroughly believed. She really didn't want to believe that a sword should die before the master. And when I say emotional, it's true, because she actually apparently did cry multiple times while making that sword, that new sword for Haruto. Also, in the scene, Haruto still had short hair. Not the long hair he had now. But it's whatever. Ugh, this is what I like. Oh, the brief flashback to that back pat. This is what I was so worried that they were going to cut out. Because when I first saw Haruto crying in the visual novel for the first time, it really got to me. I wasn't full on crying like he was, but I did. My eyes were kind of watering, and I did feel a tang in my heart. This is, the emotional impact of Haruto, just grieving Aoi's death and mourning her loss. That's one of the biggest reasons of why Volume 6 is so great for me. The emotional impact is one of the biggest reasons why I consider Volume 6 among my top 3 Grisaia fan trigger visual novels. And I will say, this scene, a little rushed, but I'm glad that they actually adapted it. Plus, it was also kind of brief in the visual novel as well. Yes. Because he's unsure of how to move on. Like, he saw everyone else taking big steps forward, but Haruto, his feet were planted in place, unable to move. Because he's still not sure of what he's supposed to do. What Aoi's words are supposed to mean. This scene was slightly different in the visual novel, because in the visual novel, Ukawa ordered Haruto to go into the car, and turn on the AC. Haruto didn't volunteer to do it himself. Yep. I think everything after this is pretty accurate. Nothing much. But yeah. Again, overall, I am very pleased with how they adapted Volume 6. And however, I still don't know how they're gonna adapt where the series is gonna go from here. Because even though I said that it looks like they are gonna adapt Volume 5.5 and probably some of the events from Volume 7, I'm still not sure how they're gonna adapt where the rest of the series is gonna go from here, because Volume 7 and Volume 8, the last two installments in the Phantom Trigger series, are two of the longest installments in the Phantom Trigger series. And I refuse to believe that like 2 or 3 episodes is enough. 3 episodes each is enough to fully cover and fully adapt both Volume 7 and 8. There's no way. I refuse to believe it, that's what they're gonna do. But I think that it really is what they're gonna do. I think that it is what they're gonna do, despite me not wanting that to be the case. And yeah, I'm very afraid about how the next 6 episodes are going to turn out. Because I'm worried we're going to see rushing and cut content that's even worse than what they did with Volume 5. But I guess we just got to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys next time.